Hey guys, my name is Jim here, and I'd like to show you how you can take an old scrubby garden and turn it into something beautiful. I'll go put on some work clothes and we'll get started. I wanted to introduce you to my terrible garden. Now, I've had this growing weeds for quite a while, and I figured it'd be good to plant something a little more beautiful. So, I'm going to start by, first of all, taking this out, edging it with this cheap little log roll just along the border. And to do that, I'll need to make some stakes. I cheated a little bit by cutting my metal stakes to length already. So I'm using angle aluminum, about maybe 12 inches or so. My idea is to kind of pound 2/3 of this into the ground and then drill through the metal and into my wooden barrier edging right here. I made about 6 of those. I'll need to do a few more to get the rest of the perimeter done, but this is sort of a fly by the seat of my pants, and I just wanted to see if I could get it together. One thing I'd do differently though is buy a drill press. It'd be so much easier, but I don't have the space for it in my garage, especially if I park my car like an idiot. The other thing too, I'd put oil on this drill bit just to make sure it didn't get dull, especially near the tip. Now, I'm going through aluminum and it's very thin too, so I'm not worried about it that much. But it's something to consider if you do this on your own. Okay, let's talk weed block for just a second here. This is something you put underneath your plants to prevent, well, not underneath, around your plants so that weeds can't pop up in between them. So it's not meant to be a barrier to water or air, just the roots of any pestering weeds you may have in your area. So it's a fairly narrow garden, so I won't use much of this at all, which is great because I've got another one over there to do. But I'll go ahead and cut it out, and then wherever I want to plant, like a rose bush or what have you, I'll put a little cross in there just by cutting it out. And then when I go back, I'll dig it a little bit out and put the plant in there. And then I'll have to either staple it down, or another recommendation for this stuff is to just put mulch on top of it so it doesn't blow away. So never mind trying to cut little crosses in the plastic and then digging a hole. And it's just, I pulled back the plastic and I've already dug up one hole for a rose bush. I've dug this hole here for lavender, and it's just easier that way. I'll go back and lay it on top. Last thing, these rose bush planters are actually biodegradable. I think you're actually supposed to be able to plant them in the ground and they just eventually degrade and you don't have to worry about them, but I'd rather not just have this in my garden bed, I want to give the roots as much chance to branch out as they can, and I think this would be restrictive, even if it is gone in, you know, a month's time. So, whatever. Now I have my drip irrigation tube lined up to my rose bush here. I've lined it up so that the end, as you can see, is just down by the opening of the weed block. Okay, so the next step, now that the sprinkler system is in, the weed block is down, I'm going to put the border up, and then after I've secured it in place with stakes, I'll lay down the mulch. So, first, you'll see this is not stable at all. So, well, there you have it. I wrapped up the rest of the work off screen, and I'll show you the results right now. I've got a few more stakes to put into the ground, but as it stands, it's ready to go. In fact, I've got the sprinklers watering these plants for about a week now, so you can see that they're actually still alive and doing very well. This is rose bush number 1, who struggled quite a bit at first. You can see new buds just barely beginning to show, though. I'll zoom as much as I can. Right there is one bright red little bloom coming through amidst the thorns. Alright, so lavender plant has been doing great. Erisamum is doing just fine as well. This rose bush took off amazingly, and you can see how much further along it is compared to the rest. Alright, and we've got new visitors as well. I've had a couple of bees buzzing around lately. It looks like they're really enjoying the place, so I'm glad. And then finally, the last rose bush. I have high hopes for this one. I don't think it's dead yet. I scratched to see if the Cambria layer was dried out, but so far it's inconclusive. I think it's still okay, but we'll see.